Ooh, you got me just so crazy over you. We love Madonna. We love Madonna. We love Madonna. We love Madonna.
You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna Podcast, your place for all things Madonna Louise, Veronica Ciccone. Hey everybody, it's Liberty.
And hey everybody, it's Stefan. Welcome to another edition of MLVC. We've got a really fun show for you today. We're going to talk all about Madonna NFT. That's right, Madonna's gone into the digital art world, and we are going to break it down for you in case you don't know what's going on. Today on the show, we have listener Ahmad Al-Ramawi. Ahmad, welcome to the program.
Hi, guys. Honestly, besides seeing Madonna live, this is probably the next best thing.
Oh, well, you can drop as many Madonna puns as you'd like. I like that we've gotten the next best thing on the podcast finally.
See?
Not many people talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm paying homage to Tony with all the puns today.
Please do, yes.
That's great. I love a good Madonna pun. It's my favorite thing.
How are things in your world today, Ahmad?
Good. Waiting for Madonna to finally grace us in Toronto. Give us a reason to justify our love. Sorry, I'm going to stop. This is the last one.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, keep them coming.
So we have a lot to discuss on the Madonna front this week. So don't just stand there. Let's get to it. It's time for This Week in Ciccone.
See, I get what I want.
So like I said, Madonna NFT. What is it? What's happening? What's going on? What in the world is Madonna doing? So just to sum up, Madonna's latest artistic venture, it is causing quite the stir. There's been tons of press. It's actually quite cool what she's done. The more I find out about it and the more I read about it, the more I love it. What does it all mean? What exactly is the project? We are here to help lead you down that path, even though there are some parts of it I don't quite fully understand. So let's break it down. First, what exactly is an NFT? Who can answer me? Liberty? Ahmad?
Well, I can just give you my very layman's idea of what an NFT is. Yes. Basically, it's art you cannot hold in your hand, digital, computer-based, created art that people can't actually hold. And this helps ownership be retained of all of those things which are in the digital art, things that are created in the digital world, videos, music, photos, things along those lines that can be shared, but not, let's say, they have to have an owner somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Ahmad, do you know more about NFTs?
It's basically, I think, along the lines of what Liberty just described. I actually this is something I think I really like about Madonna, because she's always pushing us to learn about new things and explore new ideas of art. And I think the idea of digital art now, we're kind of crossing into a more digital world or something along that line. And this is probably something that's going to become more mainstream. So the fact that she's one of the only artists, I have not seen it so far anywhere else, pushing something new and doing something like this, I think this is really awesome.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. That's the technical term. I had to look up what a blockchain was. I was like, what? It's NFTs stored on a public blockchain, and it's gotten very, very technical for me, and I kind of just had to sort of stop thinking about it too much.
I just put all of those things on the shelf of stuff that I may or may never understand and have to be okay with. There should be an NFT for dummies.
I looked it up. I'm telling you, I looked it up last night. I still didn't understand.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm super excited to see her go down this road. I'm always a little nervous when Madonna puts this new thing out into the world, and I have to be like, are you coming? Are you with me? Try to understand, first of all, wrap my head around it, because I always think she's a genius, she's way smarter than I am, so there's got to be something bigger there to it. And of course, we find out that there is, right? We find out
Yes.
not only once we see them what's created, but if you got a chance to listen to the interview that she did on Super Rare, that was very informative, and it really helped me understand.
I'm sure everyone out there is thinking, how does Madonna fit into all of this technological jargon? As the New York Times reported, the pop singer spent the last year working with a digital artist on a video series about motherhood. The proceeds are benefiting 3 nonprofits. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the NFT collection that Madonna created is called Mother of Creation. It features 3 one-minute short films, all of which Madonna is featured completely naked, giving birth in all 3 in various situations. So the first is called Mother of Nature, which Madonna gives birth to Flora, aka a tree, and she reads a new poem written specifically for the project.
My journey through life as a woman is like that of a tree, starting from a small seed, always pushing against the resistance of the earth, the endless weight of gravity, scorching heat and pouring rain and punishing winds. I've taught myself to be supple so that I won't break. While predators peck at my fruit and scrape my bark, saw off my branches, chop me down, burn me to the ground. They will never destroy my essence, nor take my glory, nor extinguish my soul.
In the another film called Mother of Evolution, Madonna is seen giving birth to fauna, aka butterflies, while lines from Justify My Love are heard. And then in the final one, Mother of Technology, Madonna is giving birth to technology in the form of centipedes while she's in a very beautiful forest of some sort. As Liberty mentioned, the 3 pieces were auctioned for charity on Super Rare, which is an NFT marketplace. Let's talk a little bit about the videos. So we've all seen them. What do we think? Ahmad, why don't you kick us off?
I absolutely love them. First of all, like you were saying, the voice, I think there's something special when Madonna does the spoken voice, just akin of something like Reinvention Tour, her reading the Book of Revelation. There's just this something that just makes your hair stand up on the back of your arms, literally. Yeah. It was provocative. It honestly makes you think. You see people discussing it. It's very artistic and it's controversial. So not everyone gets it. And you hear some people saying this and that. And I think some people label it as weird, but I think that's exactly what art is. It's just supposed to be very provocative. And that's what Madonna does best. So I absolutely love that.
Liberty, how about you? What did you think of them?
Oh, I mean,
What's your opinion as a woman
so
and
first,
a mother?
I thought it was a little too AI looking or some sort of avatar face. I don't know. There was something about the look that was so distant that I thought it doesn't really like grab me as far as her facial expression. But the point, I think, is that, maybe this wasn't even the intention, but I felt a little bit like, women are kind of expected to stay, to keep a face while they have to give birth to lots of different types of things. And while they have to be mothers, and while they have to have jobs, and while they have to be working, and while they have to be sometimes struggling in different ways, which she references. But once I saw it, I mean, the full 3 clips, I was touched by the ethereal sort of feeling, because as sort of stoic as she looks, she also looks soft. There's softness to her. There's, her skin looks just buttery smooth.
Flawless. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that's been causing the uproar, obviously, is that in all of the videos, Madonna's vagina makes a very strong, prominent feature in all three.
What else? Okay, look, it's mother of creation. So what else should it be? I mean,
I'm not opposed to seeing Madonna's vagina. We've seen Madonna's vagina.
Right. I wish it looked a little less young. I know that is strange. Maybe that's strange to say. I want it to look, like
age appropriate.
Yes, a woman's like a,
but
maybe
I think
hers really looks like that. I don't know.
I mean, Madonna, I think, is being depicted as sort of like an evergreen version of Madonna. She's not like, I don't think it's supposed to be 63-year-old Madonna in these videos. I think it's just supposed to be Liberty's apparently dying to see 63-year-old vagina, but
no, I need a landing strip or something. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about,
I see.
I saw her
maybe
bush.
She hit the wax. She hit the wax person before she had a waxing before she gave birth because she knew she was going to be on film. Look, the vagina planned ahead. Okay. Yes. It was, I
understand.
Speaking not of vagina, but planning ahead. Can we talk about the fact that Mother of Technology is the only video out of the three that Madonna's wearing shoes? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice.
She's got these like black kitten heels on. Like, ooh. I don't know if she chose to have the shoes look the way that they look, but the shoes don't look good. And I was like, Madonna would be, if Madonna was giving birth in a forest to centipedes, she would be wearing some kick-ass stilettos. Like, let's revisit like the heels that she wore in like Girl Gone Wild. Like, that's what Madonna would be giving birth in. And the kitten heels that she's wearing, I don't think they look good. I don't know.
That's some good observation.
Yeah, I have to
I'm telling you, go back and look at it. I was like, the other two, she's completely barefoot, which is strange because you'd think in Mother of Creation, where she's in the city that's collapsing behind her and she's giving birth to the butterflies, which is very ghost town, by the way. Like,
I thought that too.
Every time I see it, I'm like, when it all falls, and like these buildings are just like collapsing behind her. And you know what I also thought was interesting? If you listen to her voice from Mother of Nature to Mother of Technology. So Mother of Technology, they took her, she must have been reading a poem. I forget when she read that poem.
That was like early 2000s or something.
Yeah, but it's like, listen to the difference in quality of her voice and like how she talks. It's so fun to sort of hear how, like, if you listen to like an 80s Madonna interview versus like early 2000s versus now, like hearing her read that the new spoken word in Mother of Nature, it's like you can hear the grills, you can hear like sort of how she's talking. It sounds very, very different, which is fun. Speaking of Madonna talking, and you brought it up, Liberty, the Twitter Hangout. Did you all watch the Twitter Hangout or listen to the Twitter Hangout?
Of course.
Yeah.
And Ahmad, what'd you think?
It was really good. Honestly, I think you could tell. I like how she walked down the entire road of how she how it was created, her kind of conversation with people and the year-long process it took and the attention to detail, which is very obvious when you see all the clips. I love when she talked about the charity, especially when she got very emotional talking about what's happening in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I love when Madonna gets vulnerable like that. It's hard not listening to that and just feeling how hard it's affecting her. And I just love hearing Madonna opening up like that. And the fact that I think it's another kind of side note that a lot of Madonna fans kind of forget the charity aspect of her career. We're very focused on music. We're very focused on everything she does, which is obviously amazing. But she's probably one of the biggest philanthropists in the music business. And I think the media and us fans often turn a blind eye. So, and she obviously doesn't need to be calling attention to it. It's not something where she needs to be, look at me. But sometimes it's nice seeing and recognizing for us fans to just kind of, even for us to be inspired and do something similar to what she's doing. in the
Yeah.
smallest way possible.
And look, the thing is still the conversation is around that she's naked, or that she doesn't look like herself, or that she's, ooh, her vagina.
Right.
Rather than the fact that these three pieces of art, which took an entire year to put together. And listen, I mean, maybe some of you might be thinking, yeah, it took a year for people to create it. And what did Madonna do? She just sat there while he, did, maybe took a photograph and then decided to digitize. But I think she was very involved in all of the little details as well.
Of course.
Like, I don't like this many butterflies. I need this many butterflies.
I need 50 butterflies to come out of my vagina, not 20.
Yeah. And, that's the conversation needs to shift a little bit, because we get a lot of Madonna through her Instagram posts, and we know that she's concerned or cares about the world. But it's sometimes hard to see the vulnerable through what appears to be either anger or, a clapbacking sort of Madonna quips, but
there's a lot of artifice sometimes on her Instagram, where it's showy, it's very celebrity, it's very, I mean, she obviously shows her family, we see the twins and Mercy and David, but we also do see like a lot of photo shoots. It's a lot of, because it's a marketing tool for her, and it's a way for her to stay in the public eye and for her to stay relevant. And so it's great that she's been able to highlight the three foundations. One is Voices of Children Foundation, which cares for those affected by the war in Ukraine.
Yep.
City of Joy Foundation, which helps survivors of violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Black Mama's Bailout, which provides bail for incarcerated women. I thought it's great that she's giving money to those specific charities. I thought that it could have been anything, and that's what she chose. And
I think
like you said, she got very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the charities themselves are very fitting with the pieces, because it's all about creation and motherhood and womanhood. And obviously all of the charities that she picked are kind of either helping kids in Ukraine or incarcerated mothers, which I didn't know that in America, unfortunately, around 60% of them go on without a trial, and they're incarcerated without a trial. And I think that's really concerning. So again, bringing attention to a lot of things with the charities she picked.
Yeah, and I think the videos and the subject matter that she chose, it's very on brand for Madonna, because she's using a quote unquote shock value to raise awareness for something, so it's like, here's Madonna naked, but there's a purpose behind it, which there always has been. It's the same thing. If you go back to when she released Justify My Love, people were in shock over the fact that, or her erotica video, the sex book, they were in shock because of the sexual nature of it, because of her being naked. But there's a point to it. And people are sort of like, if you're just looking at the surface, they're just seeing nudity. But if you dig deeper, there's a little bit more behind it. Yeah. What do you think that the videos mean? What do you have ideas or theories about what they all mean, Ahmad? What do you think any of them mean?
So I think my personal favorite would probably be Mother of Evolution. Mm-hmm. I think, especially now with the current climate of the world we're living in, the fact that you can physically see the buildings crumbling and falling to the ground, and meanwhile you have a butterfly that's on Madonna's leg, and she says we can fly while the world is still crumbling. It's not an after fact. I think there's a lot of strength in that video, and a lot of hope, and that one really touched me. And all of them, honestly. I think Mother of Nature too is very true to what Madonna's experienced as a woman in the career until this day. With everything, every step she takes, it's as if the gravity of Earth she describes herself or her journey in life as a tree, and with the elements kind of hitting her, and with gravity pulling her down. And I think that's just such a beautiful kind of an unfortunate description of what Madonna's gone through throughout her career and her life. And yeah, and until this day, she's still facing all of those. Even with releasing these videos, it's kind of ironic that people can look at this and miss a message that's so very clear. And yeah, and then the fact that she can still say, she says, and I quote, "They will never destroy my essence, nor take my glory, nor extinguish my soul." And I just think that embodies what Madonna is and the strength we fans get from her. And yeah, I think that's amazing.
That's beautiful. Well, my favorite is also Mother of Evolution because, okay, creation in and of itself is an element of survival, or the drive to survive. Without being creative, and creation in and of itself, we extinguish.
Yeah.
What else is there, right? If we don't have any room in our lives to create. But it is also, whatever you create is always a risk, to first of all, to demonstrate your vulnerability. You face this uncertainty. It's like, are people going to understand my message? Are people going to be interested even? Whatever we create, we always want approval, and we want someone to for it to resonate with somebody, but we create, and then that risk presents this like, will I make it? Will my creation make it? To me, creation is really the source of our existence, and we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't even be able to chat on this right now if there was not somebody, taking a risk and being creative. And that's what she's had to do since like you said, Ahmad, since day one. Everything she's created is up for opinion, debate. Why can't we just say, wow, yes, okay, I get you. Now, see, what she's done is she's pushed herself into a new type of art. Are NFTs, or do we really think of them as art?
I do. I like the whole NFT art world. I like that it's become a thing now because obviously we also do this podcast, and those to me are art forms in a way. I mean, I think, podcasting about an artist, pop star, is an art project, and all of the photography that I do is an art project, but they're not in museums for you to go see, although you can't hold it in your hands. It still exists, and it's still out there, and it's
because it's about evoking something within you. So once something has drawn a feeling out of you, it can be art. I mean, that's why music is considered art.
I was going to say that too, is that music is like the original NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
You can hear it and it exists and you can replay it, but at the same time, you can't hold music.
Yeah.
Right.
We can all, I think like Madonna said, we can all enjoy it, even though if we don't own it, as in someone owns the copyright or
Sure.
or their music, but we can still all enjoy the art, and it makes it more accessible. And I think that's what's really cool about digital art and NFTs. It just makes it very accessible for people to explore and see.
Yeah.
Liberty and I were saying before we came on today, it's the same thing as, people can own prints of the Mona Lisa. You can own a postcard of the Mona Lisa. You don't own the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is in the Louvre in Paris, and that's where it is. And if you want to go see the original, you can fly to Paris and go to the Louvre and see the Mona Lisa in a very crowded room. But otherwise, you can't hold it. You can't, you don't own it. And I think it's the same thing, in a much smaller scale. What Madonna's created is her version of the Mona Lisa, where you can't hold it. You can buy it for $350,000 on Super Rare, but and that's the only way you're going to be able to quote unquote own it. But otherwise, it's like you can see copies of it online, but it's not yours.
No, just an addition. May I add, much better version of the Mona Lisa. I know I'm biased, But sorry, Mona Lisa. Madonna
It's just,
outdid you.
you know what? It's just something new. You know, I'm sure when the Mona Lisa came out, there was an uproar about it because people were like, "What is she smiling about?" and now, you know, hundreds of years later, you know, it's not the new shiny toy. You know, now it's Madonna's vagina, and
Exactly.
Which we're still excited to see. Everybody,
of course,
wants
bring it on. Yeah, I know.
Show us.
Speaking of exciting, I think it might be that special time of the show. What do you think, Liberty?
Oh, goodness me. Is it really that time? The special, very exciting and wonderful lightning round.
Ahmad, as you know, everyone on the show gets a lightning round. This is just meant to be quick off the top of your head. Wherever you're at in your Madonna journey today, don't think too hard on it. Favorite Madonna song?
This is impossible, but just for me as a kid trying to emulate Vogue, it's going to be Vogue in front of the TV. It has to be.
Yeah, quick. Favorite Madonna video?
I think I'll say Like a Prayer, just because of how relevant it is today. And unfortunate, but it's still very relevant in the world we live in today.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that was way ahead of its time.
Still ahead
favorite
of its
Madonna
time.
tour?
I'm going to be very, very controversial. A lot of people would probably say something like Blonde Ambition or Confessions, but I'm going to say MDNA.
Oh,
I think the budget was insane. She danced her ass off from start to finish. Mm-hmm. I think she I don't know what, but I think she felt like she had something to prove to all the naysayers that she still was the queen, and I think she went full force, and I love it. I just love MDNA.
Oh my gosh, it's just the choreo for Girl Gone Wild.
Yes.
The fact that she came out of the gate swinging like that, I was like,
yeah.
What?
No, very important. The performance of Girl Gone Wild, very important for my sexual awakening. Was when I saw it, was very, very important for for me.
Favorite Madonna movie?
Ooh. You know what? Another controversial one, but I'm gonna say WE.
Oh, a Madonna. Oh, so not Madonna in the movie, but a Madonna directed movie. That is controversial.
It is. I think because when you watch it, you can actually get a glimpse into Madonna's brain and how she sees the world, and I think that's really cool, actually. And it's just so beautifully crafted. You can see like the attention to detail is like no movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Speaking of gorgeous, favorite Madonna look, and this can be coming from a video, a tour, a photo shoot.
Impossible, but just today, because I saw this picture today, and I was like, oh wow, it was her when she released her Truth or Dare perfume. Her hair was sculpted to the gods that day. I don't know if you remember the press conference or the press release she did that day. Her hair is just other level on that red carpet. So I'm going to say that.
Nice. Well, that's our show for today. Ahmad, Liberty, thanks so much for coming on and talking a little Madonna NFT. I think if you are listening to the show and you have not seen the videos, cue it up, do it up. Gotta see. You'll thank us for it later.
You will thank us.
Yeah.
Remember, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at MLVC Podcast. You can also donate to the podcast on Venmo at MLVC Podcast. Drop us a tip. Or become a subscriber on Patreon, like Ahmad. patreon.podbean.com/MLVC Podcast. Ahmad, thanks for tuning in and joining us today from Canada. Liberty, thanks for chatting with us.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it so much.
This was the best moment of my month. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, hopefully more goodness is to come.
I'm so glad to have met you, Ahmad.
Honestly, like the last 2 years were really rough on me. I had such a roller coaster, which is a whole story. But your shows are, because I don't have that Madonna connection in real life. So it's just like this really warm hug. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
I love that. I love thinking of our show as a warm hug.
Well, it's more than a warm hug, but thank you so much.
Well, on that note, thanks everyone.
Thank you so much for having me. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Good night.
And Madonna, I'll give you the same question, right? Like anything you'd like the community to know about the pieces that we haven't talked about or walk away from this conversation thinking about.
Well, again, I'm honored to be, to be entering the NFT space with these pieces because they are so meaningful to me in so many ways. I'm honored to be working with people. I love his provocative and ironic view of the world and cynical and all of those fancy words. He's a special person, and I know he doesn't collaborate with other people or not very often. So, I recognize this opportunity, but also just like if you think about everything, as you say, what's going on in the world right now, for these to come out and for us to be able to have this platform to share art, to share our ideas about humanity, to bring people together, to make people think, to provoke, not just for the sake of provocation, but for the sake of unity and raising consciousness in the world. It's a win-win for everybody, really.